Hi, I'm Cathy Thomas, and joining me is Rashad Mounmeh of Falasophy in Santa Ana. He will share the secrets of his award-winning falafels. Garbanzo beans, what have you done to these beauties?
I soaked them overnight in cold water. You can soak them for about 10 hours or overnight, not cans, of course.
Yes.
So they're fresh garbanzo beans.
So they're dried.
They're dried.
I'm excited. What do we do next?
Okay, we're gonna mash these garbanzo beans up first in this food processor. Try not to put too much so as not to overload your processor and then the beans don't get mashed. There we go. You're looking to get a paste type consistency. If for some reason you drain them too much, you could add a bit of water, but it looks like they're perfect right now. The finer they are, the better, I would say, the consistency of the falafel will come out.
Describe the texture. What are we looking for? Something that's really fine, or
in the middle? You want something to mold, essentially, because you're going to mold this and put it in the fryer. So if it's not molding, then you're not. It's a bit coarser than you want it to be. So this is the right texture.
Do some people add flour?
Some people do add flour. So we like to make our falafel gluten-free in case you have any allergies. Traditionally, people don't add flour though. So I'm gonna take all this stuff out because now next we're gonna grind the greens.
Right.
And we're gonna grind the garlic and the onions. And if we keep a lot of this stuff in here, it's gonna stick.
You've got some cilantro.
That's right.
You've got some Italian parsley and some fresh dill.
Some dill. So I really like dill. Some white onion and some garlic.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. And you're looking to get this as fine as possible. Smells good, huh?
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful.
Okay, so I'm gonna add these guys. So I'm just gonna mix. Now the thing with falafel is that it absorbs a lot of flavor. So if there's some flavor you like, you can always throw it in there.
And hands just mix so much better than anything else.
That's right, that's the love that's going into the falafel right now. And I'm gonna add our cumin and coriander. Some salt and just a pinch of this.
Dried red pepper flakes.
That's right. So the order of this is particularly important. So you want to mix the beans first in the food processor, and then you want to do the greens separately, and then you want to put the spices on everything else. If you put the spices on the watery greens, they're not going to absorb the flavor as much. Ideally, you want to fry this at about 325, 300 to 325. If you go too high in temperature, it's going to crust on the outside and not cook enough on the inside. If you go too low in temperature, it's going to come out a bit oily. Yeah, it's probably there.
And how do you know when they're done?
They sort of float to the surface. And you can tell by the color. You can see the contrast here between the ones I dropped at the end.
Oh, yeah?
So these are not done yet. These are done. Okay, so we're just going to drop this back in the oil.
So where did they originate? What country?
Egypt. So the story I've read in history books is that hundreds of years ago, the Coptic sects in Egypt wanted something to eat for Lent. They used local ingredients, which is obviously fava beans there. And so they made these falafel fritters. They were so good, so that spread all over the Middle East, and every culture has used their local beans. So the more you go east towards the Levant, you'll see more garbanzo being used as opposed to fava beans. Falafel tacos are very easy. So take a flour tortilla, heat it up real nice. So I do it at home.
Warmed up.
Warmed up. So we're gonna do some falafels in there. We're gonna put some pickled red cabbage.
And what did you pickle it in?
Red vinegar, sugar, and salt. Because it's a taco, we're gonna use jalapenos.
Yes.
We pickle these in pineapple juice. Makes it amazing, I think.
That's such a good idea.
I'm gonna get an avocado here, and
You just scored that, and you're scooping it out.
that's right. And then your dressing of choice. So you could do a tahini, which is my favorite.
Well, let's do the tahini then. Or you could have tzatziki.
Tzatziki, which is also excellent. So that's your falafel taco.
Beautiful. Didn't this win bowl?
It did. It won Best Taco in a beer festival with a lot of meat tacos.
And I see that you have some pita bread over here.
So I do have some pita bread. I also have some hummus. So essentially, you can put whatever really makes you happy in the sandwich. Start with the falafel. I like to put the sauce first. So the sauce goes on the falafel. And then here I have cucumber, tomato, parsley into a kind of a salad. Pickles always go well with falafel, so just a bit of cabbage. And here's your
Beautiful.
little falafel pita. This one is inspired by a very famous sandwich, which is one of my favorites, a banh mi sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna start with falafel. We're gonna add the sauce. Okay, and then just like a traditional banh mi, I got some pickled daikons and carrots here. These are fresh jalapenos, they're not pickled. And then lastly, we need some cilantro, so I'm gonna grab my cilantro. There it is.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this information and teaching me about something that I don't know much about, and I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Here's a quick tip from Melissa's. My pal Libby makes delicious spinach salad. I love the sweet edge of the fruit, the crunch of the toasted pecans, and the tangy bling of the goat cheese. Let's start by making the dressing, which has got a little sweetness in it. We start with a little raspberry vinegar, about 2½ tablespoons. And then we want about 2½ to 3 tablespoons of honey, depending on how sweet you like the dressing. A little salt. And my salt would have dissolved better if I'd put it directly in the vinegar first. Freshly ground black pepper. And just a tiny bit of Dijon mustard, maybe 1/4 teaspoon. You can use a whisk if you like, but a fork works perfectly well. I've got a couple of tablespoons of minced shallots here. And now in goes, between 5 and 6 tablespoons of really nice extra virgin olive oil. 2 cups of sliced strawberries, about 1 cup of blueberries, fresh blueberries, and some toasted pecans. Now when you're toasting nuts, you have to be a little careful because they burn easily. So in a 350-degree oven, you kind of spread them out on a rimmed baking sheet and let them go about 5 minutes. You want them this lightly browned and a little crunchy. I'm going to give this a little toss so that the dressing doesn't just go on the fruit. A quick stir of the dressing, and in it goes. We're going to give it a nice toss. Often I do this tossing in an empty sink, because that way if anything escapes out the side, it doesn't get on the counter or on the floor. And onto the plate. I'm going to do a great big serving here. And then I've got some chilled goat cheese. I'm just going to crumble it over the top. Now my friend Libby, she tosses in the cheese. But I like to do it this way because I have friends that don't eat cheese. So this way, they can eat it cheese-free. Easy and delicious, perfect spinach salad. The produce aisles are filled with so many delicious choices. Try something new, have an adventure.